There are phrases in the Bible that just reside in my head for the longest time because of their catchiness and the turn of phrase. Today's readings has one that I've always liked. In the gospel reading, if anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, shake off the dust from your feet as you leave that house or town. Shake off the dust of your feet. Now that is a great phrase, meaning that whatever is in that house or that town is not worthy of even the slightest relevance to you from that point forward. Now that is a condemnation if I've ever heard one, a slam worthy of anything in today's world. So here you have Jesus sending out his disciples, and he instructs them as to go proclaim the good news. The kingdom of heaven is come near. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, cast out demons. Jesus is telling his disciples to deliver the goods. He knows it will not be easy. A lot of doubters and skeptics. But to his way of thinking, and I'm not saying this is wrong, how could anyone refuse what they're offering? If they flat refuse or harass or intimidate the messengers, then they do not deserve to receive the good news. So be rid of them. Do not even let the very dust of that town taint you, your clothes, or even the soles of your feet. We like to try to figure things out for ourselves because that is how God wired us. This is why God gave us free will, that ability to listen to others, make up our own minds, and do what is right for us, if we will listen to that intuition we have inside us. But sometimes we get it wrong. Sometimes we are offered the chance of a lifetime, and we just don't take it. Nah, that's too good to be true. I'm not going to fall for that one. You just move along and take whatever you're selling with you. And then there goes that messenger. Wait, what's he doing? Cleaning the dirt off his feet? Whatever. We make some mistakes, and we get some things right. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. Through the ages, God has sent prophets and messengers to the people of Israel many times. God gives us that inner knowing, that intuition to listen, to learn, and discern, and make up our own minds if we'll do it. Not knowing and with malice aforethought, choose the path that is clearly not the best, and you might be labeled as either impudent, arrogant, or just wrong. It's your choice. What is not said, though, is that maybe the people who have heard the word have been beaten down for so long, they can't see the good possibilities that might be coming their way. We haven't walked in their shoes. We don't know what kind of life they've lived. So it's a slippery slope if we're too judgmental about other people. Just be careful. As I've said, we know that the people of Israel did not always listen or learn or discern. Apparently, people today are still making choices that might not be the best for them. They cannot see what is right in front of them. They might not hear the words and believe. They do not see the deeds and the healings and believe. Those who have eyes, let them see. Those who have ears, let them hear. So Jesus sent out his disciples, 2 by 2, with authority over unclean spirits, to heal, to cleanse, but some still would not hear and believe. Not even the dirt on the ground of those places was now worthy of the disciples talking to them. Even the dust of those cities that rejected the Lord was an abomination and would not be allowed to cling to the feet of those messengers. Those towns were no longer their responsibility. They had now been handed off to God to do with as he wished. Once again, choices have consequences. What I love about all these scripture readings we hear every Sunday is figuring out how they relate to us, you and me, in today's world. What obviously stood out to me when I read the ones for today is how people had choices in what they did with those choices. This is what Jesus wants his people to get, to understand. He wants to remember their connection to God, and that is the most important. Sometimes they just can't see it. They've forgotten it. They can't get there. They need to see the possibilities in front of them if they would just open their eyes. But isn't that the way it is a lot of times, if not all the time? We hear the stories in the Bible, we listen to the lessons, and we think about how life was way back then and how we would have done so much better. And then we move on with our lives, get back into our real world, which is where you and I are right now. We hear the stories, but that's all they are, just stories. What does that have to do with us right now, standing here, sitting here in Washington State? How in the world am I supposed to relate to something that happened 2,000 years ago? Those magical, miracle things in the story, in the book, don't you wish you could have witnessed at least just once of them? Maybe it'd help you to believe. But that's not what we're called to do. A lot of people who did witness the miracles and signs still didn't understand what they were seeing. They still didn't get it. They couldn't move beyond the miracles and grasp the implication of what was happening right in front of them. For us, our faith, that's our bread, that's our manna, that which sustains us, that which is life-giving, that without which our life doesn't have a whole lot of meaning. You'd just be going through the motions. Our faith tells us that there is much more to existence than what we see every day. You have to dig within yourself to find that meaning, to find that purpose, to find the implications of what we talk about every Sunday. That there is more to what we see in front of you. There is life beyond the life we're living. Jesus spoke of love for each other and of the reality of life beyond this world with his Father. That is what we're all hoping for and working towards and going towards. This is what life's about. Life itself is actually more simple than we make it out to be. What God wanted for his people 2,000 or 3,000 years ago is what God still wants for the people today, for us, to love one another, to treat each other with dignity and kindness, and to love God with all your heart and with all your soul. Is this not what Jesus preached and taught? This is why we're here every Sunday. This is why we come together, to embody those teachings, to be Christ's hands and feet in the world today. We are all God's people. God is the God of love. I am not one of those people who believes in the Old Testament God of fire, damnation, hell. My God is a God of love and peace. There is nothing else. Relationships, the relationships in your lives. That is what is important. Relationships with your family, with your spouses, with your friends, with your neighbors, your fellow citizens, with our fellow countrymen, and with all the other citizens of the world. Money is nothing. Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything. Fame is nothing. Possessions are merely things. They mean nothing. You can't take it with you. It's the people that mean everything. Love truly makes the world go round. There is a commonality of all people. What separates from one another is the obstacles, the fences, the self-imposed perceived differences we have for each other, and those are all illusions. Fear is the great separator in the world today. Fear is the evil that permeates and pervades society. If I had to name the great Antichrist alive today, it would be fear. Fear of what, you ask? Anything and everything. Anything that causes you to act in ways that you don't see the beauty of the person next to you. That new neighbor across the street looks like he might be from another country. He's not like us, so I'd better steer clear of him. How about that loud-talking new guy at work? He has a funny accent. He maybe lives from down south somewhere. Well, he's just not my type of person, so I'm not going to look his way or even smile at him. Isn't that the way we treat a lot of people we meet or see for the first time? Someone who is a little different from our friends or our acquaintances. That guy or that gal in the wheelchair, I'm going to make sure I don't make eye contact with them because I wouldn't know what to say to them. That's how we treat people sometimes. They become dehumanized. That person in that wheelchair has every feeling and every emotion that you do. Jesus did things differently. He went to the tax collector and said, "Follow me." He broke the ice and began to change the world. He was not afraid to stand among the outcasts of society. He went out of his way to bring the marginalized of society back into the world, in essence telling them, you are loved as you are. You're different, and that's okay. He would not let societal pressures dictate to him who he should see or who he shouldn't see. So, who is your master? Who do you listen to? Who or what tells you who to like and who not to like? Does society tell you who you can talk to or do you decide for yourself? Do you make your decisions based on old fears, old prejudices, old biases that you outgrew a long time ago but never got rid of? We all have these filters we carry around. They tell us what we think about the world and the light in which we see and make our decisions. Every minute of every day, you are recreating yourself by the way you change your thinking. It's an awesome concept, and it's true. You're constantly adjusting the filters with which you see and perceive the world. This is what Jesus was aware of. He knew that we need to be constantly vigilant and aware that through our thoughts and subsequent actions, we can create fear and prejudice and harm to all others in society. By our thoughts, words, and actions, we can shut out whole groups of people and create levels or classes of society that does no good whatsoever. The true gift that Jesus brought to the world was the gift and knowledge of love. This is the gift from God, brought by Jesus to be shared with everyone. Exclude no one, lest ye be excluded. Love everyone, even your enemy. You may not love his actions, but love him as a person of God. There is but one God. Is not his God the same as mine? How could I not love my brother? How could I not love my sister? Your future and your society's future is up to you and your choices. Our future is up to us and our choices. We have been led to the water. Now it is up to us if we drink. Thanks be to God. Amen.